out there in YouTube land. Rival here. Thanks for stopping by. As you can see, we've got something a little bit different on the turntable for you this week. I wanted to do a comparison, a showdown of sorts between the two of the most anticipated knives as far as entry-level production knives go. For me this year, I happened to get my hands on each of these. The Natrix just very recently launched, and the Induction slowly starting to make its way out into the wild. But they're both knives that I've had on my list ever since they were announced. Both knives that have a lot of features that I think are pretty damn awesome. Both knives that cost the exact same amount. If you go on Blade HQ today, they're both like $37 and 75 cents or something like that, so under $40 shipped. Add a couple dollars onto that. But yeah, I think they've got some great features at that $40 price point. So I wanted to just do a shot-by-shot analysis to help you figure out if you could only afford one of these two, which one would you go for, which one should you go for. I'll let you know my opinion, and I'll give you some of the key features. So I'm going to be looking at 7 different points of each of these knives. We're going to be looking at the blade, the handle and ergos, the clip, pocketability, lock, overall design, and action. So those are the topics we're going to talk about as we kind of go through these two point by point. So again, we'll start with the blade. They're both 8CR13 MOV steel, so both an entry-level budget, very serviceable, so no distinction there. So it really just comes down to blade shape. What do you want to do with it? What do you like? Things like that. Personally, I'm giving it to the Natrix. I like the higher grind, the full flat grind, I should say, all the way up to the fuller there. I like the Wharncliffe style blade. I think the jimping on the top gives me great retention for my hand. I did some dissecting of boxes this weekend, and that stuff it chewed them up no problem. I do like the overall design of the Induction here. It's got a hollow grind. It's also got a deep swedge at the top. I think the swedge is even hollow ground too. So it really comes down to just personal aesthetics. I'm not as big a fan of the PVD with the satin finish on the flats there. So yeah, for me, blade goes to Natrix. The next one is the handle and the ergos. That's a little bit tougher. When it comes to weight, the Natrix is going to take it because that's only 2.9 ounces. Whereas this is 3.75 ounces, so you've got about a quarter ounce added onto this because of those aluminum handles. I guess that would be the only real downside is the weight as a result of these aluminum handles. They are a bit thicker. These handles are quite a bit thinner, which I think will come into play in its favor later. But when it comes to ergos, I'm giving it to the Induction. It fills the hand beautifully. This forward choil right here is just the perfect place for your fingers. My hand fits it perfectly all the way to the end, no problem there. Like I said, it being a little bit fat, it just fills the hand nice. It gives you a good place to go. Not that the Natrix doesn't, but the way it's designed, my pinky is down towards the end here, which keeps the knife very secure, and it is a very thin, a very durable grip. The G10, not a problem in that regard. It's even sculpted, so I think that'll also come into its favor later on. But when it comes to just feeling good in the hand, this feels solid and good in the hand. So I'm giving that one to Induction. Clip. I mean, that's an easy one. That one goes to the Natrix. I like the over-the-top clip. It's smaller, so it's not the biggest thing in the world. This one, not that it's a bad clip, it's just a standard bent steel clip, but it does leave a lot hanging out of the pocket. In this regard, you got this much sticking out of the pocket, where in this one, it's completely deep carry. So the clip definitely goes to the Natrix. Now, as far as pocketability goes, I talked about the handle and the ergos, the thickness being in its favor for the Induction. Here's where pocketability, how easy does it slide in and out of that pocket, and how easy does it carry is kind of my watermark there. The thickness and the added nearly ounce of weight takes away from it. Like this, I was wearing basketball shorts all day today, and this thing fits in the basketball shorts no problem. Just the lightweight G10, it's sculpted, it's ultra thin, that deep carry clip just slides right in there and it disappears. Even the ergonomics with the clip going this way, so the rest of this, the curve or the front half of the knife just curves towards the inside of your pocket, so it just nestles away. Not that this is a bad carry, it's no problem. 3.75 ounces isn't even a bad weight. It's just a little bit bigger, a little bit bulkier, so there's certain things that it doesn't fit in. Basketball shorts definitely being one of those things. Lock and lock up. So this one is a tough one. Oh, for Pocketability, I think I did say Natrix, right? Right. Lock up, and I should say more specifically lock mechanism, things like that. They both have their own patented, specialized lock mechanisms. On this one, you've got the patented subframe lock. It's a stainless steel lock bar bolted into the G10 subframe. This case, you've got the Hawk lock, so it's a kind of a button or a switch release at the top. It's a two-stage Hawk lock, so it's a next generation from, say, like the RAM or something like that. So it has, for that, it's got two separate actuators inside there. And it's got an extremely durable and solid lockup. This one also has a durable and solid lockup, but it is, you know, a standard, at the end of the day, it's a standard frame lock, really. Whereas this just gives you something a little bit more awesome, more cool factor, just as durable when it comes to lockup strength, so you're not sacrificing anything between these two. So in this case, just because the Hawk lock is so special, it's also near and dear to my heart. I've got several of these in the custom and mid-tech versions as well. But this is an excellent execution of the Hawk lock, and on a $40 knife, I think that's something that's very important. So the point goes to the Induction on this one. When it comes to overall design, the overall aesthetics of the knife, these are both Kershaw in-house designs. This just incorporates the G&G Hawk lock. This one incorporating the subframe lock. I'm giving the design one to the Natrix as well. It's just reminiscent of that 777. It's doing the job that everybody wanted it to do right from the jump, which is, oh my God, that 777's amazing. Can we get a production version that everybody can afford? A $40 knife that brings you this much of the overall aesthetic. It brings you that lock. It brings you the sculpted G10 in the handle. It gives you that beautiful blade shape with the fuller. It's got great fit and finish. Overall design, I'm giving it to this one. I do still want to have that honorable mention because this is a fantastic design. It is something that gets you into a Hawk lock at $40 price point. That's a pretty amazing thing. Last but not least, action. That one's going to the Induction. There's nothing that beats the action on a Hawk lock knife. You can move that knife or that blade completely freely when the lock's disengaged. It gives you an easy way to close the knife. It gives you that rock solid lockup. You've got no wiggle, no blade play when it comes to the lockup, the solidity of the lockup. Just the joy of the deployment on this type of knife, the way the flipper tab is set up at the top of the knife just gives you great leverage. It goes over the release of that Hawk lock. It's an addicting action. Natrix, the action is perfectly acceptable for a speed-safe knife. I guess that would be the only downside for me, being that I am more of an enthusiast. I'm not as big on the speed safe as I am just a very well executed manual flipper. So yeah, definitely giving it to the Induction on there. But like I said, the action on this is perfectly fine. It's perfectly fantastic. When you take this out in front of your non-knife friends, they definitely get a kick out of that speed safe feature. So there's something to be said for it. Those of you who enjoy that speed safe feature as a selling point, that may put that Natrix back in your favor. But all in all, we talked about 7 different points on each of these 2 knives. The score is listed down below, but it does go to the Natrix by 1. So this gets 4 points, this gets 3. Natrix taking the overall blade shape, the clip, the pocketability, and the design factors. The Induction taking the handle, lock, and action. So if you guys are on the fence, hopefully this helped provide some balanced point and counterpoints in either of the knives' favors. Me personally, if I could only get one, I'd go with the Natrix. Although, me personally, I'd just get both, as you can see, because they are both fantastic little knives. That's all I got for you on the turntable this week. I got a couple more pimp jobs, and heck, I even got an EDC light review coming up for you pretty quickly. So thanks for stopping by. Like and subscribe. Peace.